2D platformers. While it's a dying breed these days, there's no denying that it's a genre that is home to some of the greatest games ever made. So it's time to look back and find out which ones are the best. When I say best, I don't necessarily mean the best quality ones, I just mean the ones that are the most fun to play. With a list like this, nobody will have the same choices, so don't freak out when you don't see Kid Icarus, Super Metroid, or Sonic on the list. With that in mind, these are PekoponTAS's top 10 2D platformers. Number 10. Rocket Knight Adventures. Rocket Knight Adventures is truly a king among hidden gems, and it really doesn't get enough attention. In typical platformer fashion, the hero of the game has to save a princess and fight an evil king. However, Sparkster does it in style by only using a sword and a jetpack. Think jet, sword, and cutter ability from Kirby Superstar all rolled up into one. Yes, it's as awesome as it sounds. Number 9. Yoshi's Story. I don't understand why so many people hate Yoshi's Story. It might be the layers of sugar frosting piled on it, or it may be the fruit eating mechanic, but those are the same things that make it great. It's an easy game, but it's fun at the same time. If it's too easy for you, you can always try and get all 30 melons in each level, which will seriously increase the difficulty. Yoshi's Story actually teaches us a very important lesson, and that lesson is that eating makes you happy. Number 8. New Super Mario Bros. You may expect Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World to be the best 2D Mario, but no. The best one is New Super Mario Bros. On the DS. It's like a hybrid of all the most popular Mario games. There's wall jumping and butt stomping from Mario 64, there's the hold an item feature from Mario World, and the Toad Houses and crazy power-ups from Mario 3. It's everything you'd want from a Mario game, all in one. Number 7. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Two of the most memorable games from my childhood were Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers and DuckTales on the NES. While both are great, I prefer Chip 'n Dale simply because it's more fun to play. Chip 'n Dale was great for its unique attack system, solid controls, and awesome co-op mode. The co-op mode makes the game much more fun, and it also presents a lot of opportunities to be a jerk to the other player. Number 6. Mega Man 9. The Mega Man series has some of the greatest run-and-gun platforming to ever hit video games, and when it came down to choosing which game in the series was the best, it couldn't be anything other than Mega Man 9. Taking the 8-bit look in a time where awesome graphics are one of the most important things in games, Mega Man 9 proves that you don't need realistic visuals to make a great game. Mega Man 9 truly captures what made the old games great, and would have been the perfect way to end the series. Though looking at Capcom's track record, it's safe to say that won't happen anytime soon. Number 5. Wario Land Shake It. Wario has been going through some tough times recently, being forced to star in tech demos for any new piece of technology Nintendo makes. However, Wario finally got back to what he does best in Wario Land Shake It. It's traditional Wario platforming at its best, where you run, jump, and tackle. Oh, and you shake the Wiimote to cause earthquakes. That may sound like a tacked-on gimmick, but it actually feels very natural. Also, shaking coins out of money bags is always a satisfying experience. Number 4. Mickey Mania, The Timeless Adventures of Mickey Mouse. It doesn't matter if you play it on the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, or even Sega CD, Mickey Mania is still awesome. The concept is actually pretty unique, as Mickey must travel through several of his classic cartoons to defeat the evil Pete. It's standard run-and-jump platforming, but what makes it great are its solid controls, simplistic yet challenging gameplay, and extreme loyalty to the cartoons on which the levels are based. If you don't watch the cartoons before playing the game, you're missing out on half of the experience. Number 3. Donkey Kong Country. Say what you will, but I love the first Donkey Kong Country game. While it may not be as complex as its sequels, that's what makes it great. It's incredibly simplistic hop-and-bop platforming, but despite its simplistic nature, a lot of those later levels are incredibly tough. Just because something isn't really complex with a lot of options, doesn't mean it can't be good. The game does have a co-op mode, but the only thing I remember it for is starting arguments about who got to be Diddy Kong. Number 2. Kirby Superstar. Kirby Superstar is what I always think of when I hear the words, best game in a franchise. Tons of new abilities with multiple attacks, simultaneous co-op, awesome gameplay, and a perfect difficulty curve. Kirby Superstar can be added to the list of games that can prove the Super Nintendo was one of, if not the best system ever made. Of course, the game only got better when it made the jump to the DS for its remake, but if I had to make crummy camcorder footage of Kirby Superstar Ultra, I'd have to shoot myself. And the number 1 best 2D platformer of all time is Drill Dozer. It's the number 1 spot, and I bet a lot of you haven't ever played Drill Dozer. And before you say it, don't confuse it with Mr. Driller. Drill Dozer was released in 2006 when the Game Boy Advance was pretty much dead, so it was overshadowed by the DS. It's a shame as it's an incredible game that's totally unique from anything else. Each level adds plenty of new elements to keep the game fresh, and all of the bosses are very different from the previous ones. What's most impressive about Drill Dozer is that you can actually still find brand new copies of it in stores. When you're the only Game Boy Advance game still on shelves 3 years after the Game Boy Advance died, that says a lot.